Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Optimistic, and today we are playing the Dragonflight beta. I know. It's pretty dope, although it's actually been kind of a blessing and a curse, more so a blessing than a curse, but I am not motivated to do anything else other than play the beta at this point, but I also don't want to do everything in the beta. Um, and so I'm in this like weird limbo where it's like I want to play WoW, but I don't want to play the live servers, or I've been kind of playing Wrath a little bit, but I know I'm not going to be playing as soon as pre-patch comes out, so I'm also not really motivated to progress much there. Anyways, long story long at this point, it kind of forced me to get into some more like lesser changes with Dragonflight and the beta. Started diving into some of like the settings, and found a couple cool things that I thought was worth mentioning. I'm also wanting to do more content in Dragonflight, so I'm setting up like OBS and the settings there, green screen, figuring all that stuff out. So figured I could kill two birds with one stone and make a little bit of an educational video for you guys, as well as figuring stuff out for myself. So the first thing I want to go over, I didn't initially plan on talking about this, but I ended up kind of making the mistake that I'm going to talk about in a sec while trying to make this video, so I figured it's probably worth mentioning, and that's that there's a search function in a few different areas that lets you just look for stuff instead of having to go through. So in my specific instance, I was going through just like checking all this stuff out, and there's a few things where I was like, oh, it's kind of cool, I should mess around with that, but let me like keep looking. And then I forgot where those things were, and so I was like, crap, where was that thing that I wanted to look at? And forgot that I could just search for it. So, for example, error speech. This is something that anytime I have to reinstall WoW or whatever, like I always struggle to remember where this is, and it's because it's in like the system settings and audio, not like interface. Anyways, I highly recommend you disable this. If anyone hasn't, it's what makes your character say like, that spell is not ready yet. That spell is not ready yet. I can't use that. I can't, over and over when you're being a gamer and mashing those keys. So recommend disabling that. Not what I wanted to talk about, but what I do want to talk about is the action targeting, which I have enabled here. You can read what it says. One thing to note that it works alongside the standard targeting system, and I'll kind of explain what that means. So I guess we'll go down this way. It's like the main reason I'm High Mountain Tauren is so that I can just charge off of things. Okay, so you can see as I kind of run around here, I'm not pressing tab or clicking on anything, but you can see that I'm targeting stuff here. And it's, dynamic, so just based off of, it's basically like an automated version of the tab targeting system. So, if you're here and you want to look at something, you tab, or if you're here, you can hit tab. It just kind of automates that. But it also introduces, as far as I know, a new like soft targeting system, where you can see the reticle underneath, representing that I have this targeted. If I actually like hard target, you'll see that it becomes more defined, bigger, letting you know that you've actually like hard targeted. It's not the same as sticky targeting because I can still click off to remove the targeting. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I said, it's basically an automated version of the tab targeting system, so it prioritizes things that are closer to you versus further away, things that are in front of you versus behind you. If you're you can't target this something because it wouldn't be able to hit it, depending on how big their hitbox is. So that's kind of a cool thing. It lets you be a little bit more like immersive, at least while questing. And then if you ever need to like prioritize a kill target, like a caster in a group of mobs, you can just, click on it and go back to the standard targeting system, which is what I was saying, how it prioritizes the old targeting system. Fancy little arcane mage running around. So the other thing I wanted to go over, I need to hopefully this guy drops something that I can loot. Sweet. So the other thing I wanted to talk about quickly is the interact key option. So I currently have it set to kind of, I guess somewhat ironically, my mouse a different mouse button. But what this does is it lets you interact with anything that you can interact with without having to actually move your mouse to it and click on it. So I could walk up here and, you know, loot this like I use standard, like you would by default, but I can move my mouse over here and just walk up, and that was weird. But yeah, and I also have auto loot on, so it just automatically loots it. The thing that I think it's probably going to be most useful for, especially like leather workers, whoops, is for gathering, specifically leather workers, where you have to like click on a lot of different things in the area if you've killed a bunch of mobs. So I can interact, you know, by clicking, but you can also just use the interact button, auto loot. So yeah, those two things I feel like just help it be a little bit more like immersive. Like I said, it's pretty small, but I was just, like I said, going through and I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. Like I really enjoy that, those two things. And then the other thing, I guess, worth mentioning with it, we'll go down here, get a preview of dragon riding, which is fucking awesome. I seriously love dragon riding so much. It's like, makes the game feel like a brand new game. Yeah, so it's really changed a lot for me. But like you can see here, when you get close to a mob and are able to interact with them, it puts that the same interact icon above their head. But it's nice if you're someone like me who always has right click engaged and is like looking around, just knowing like what you're gonna do, and we can just interact. Flight path discovered. I can go over here and interact with this guy, and you know, the functionality stops there. You can't like keep interacting to like repair or purchase or accept new quests, but again, just like little quality of life improvements around. You can also use it to like auto attack. Like I said, it's basically just the right click functionality moved to a keybind. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I really wanted to go over. Like I said, just practicing, using all my like tools and stuff and just checking things out. So hopefully you found that somewhat useful, and want to be making some more content in the future. So if there's anything specifically you want to see in the beta or interested to learn more about, just let me know in the comments, and I'll either answer it there or even make a, you know, visualized representation of the answer in the form of like another video or something. Yeah, hopefully you guys are excited. Like I said, pre-patch coming out in the next few weeks with the expansion at the end of November. So it's time to come back and figure out what you want to play, and you know, convince your friends to come back, etc. So yeah, again, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hope you have a good rest of your week and weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.